Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is So Much Sewing, and this is my sister Sarah. This is a follow-on video to one we filmed before Christmas where we talked about how we each were choosing a pattern for the other to sew. Sarah said that I needed to try the Jarrah sweatshirt by Neilsen. And I said, well, if that's the case, then she needs to try sewing the Alton blouse by Cashmerette, because when I made one of those, she absolutely loved it. But we ended up going with the Rhapsody by Love Notions because Sarah is not a Cashmerette Club member, so she couldn't get the Alton blouse. But we decided that the Love Notions Rhapsody was pretty much the same-ish thing, and so she purchased the Rhapsody blouse and I purchased the Neilsen Jarrah sweatshirt. So we each are wearing our makes. Sarah has her Rhapsody on. You've made it out of, what was it, Sarah?
This is a slubbed linen voile from Draper's here in New Zealand.
That's right, yes. And it was quite frayy, wasn't it?
It did fray. It did cause a little bit of a problem around when I put the binding on. Just sort of, you probably can't see here, but there's a gathered sort of seam each side here. And when I was putting the binding on, I couldn't quite catch.
Oh, just in here?
Yeah, each side. I couldn't quite catch one layer of the sort of yoke through, under the binding. I did unpick it and try it again, but plus I think maybe cutting out the fabric, I wasn't quite as fussy as I should have been. I don't know, but I think the fraying did cause a problem.
Well, I can't see any issue. Nobody looking at Sarah wearing this blouse is going to see any kind of issue. It's only because we as creators and sewists are so hard on ourselves that Sarah's finding fault there. I mean, to me it looks fine.
Oh, I wore it on Christmas Day, as you know, and yeah, I'll definitely still wear it. And funnily enough, the part I thought I would have the most trouble with is the V here. It's quite a nice, neat V, the way they do it. But I did watch, I think I mentioned last time, I watched Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. I watched her little tutorial on it.
It was someone else, was it?
I think,
Tomcat Stitchery?
Yes, I think Whitney from Tomcat, she has made a few of these as well, I think. And she had a little sort of tutorial on this part here as well. So
right.
The combination of both of them and the instructions, and it actually wasn't too bad at all. So generally I'm really pleased with it, actually.
And what size did you make?
Yeah, I'm just having a wee look here. I did a large, which pretty much was spot on for me. All their measurements are in inches though, which I'm not very good with inches.
Not a page with centimetres?
No, there wasn't. So, but I kind of worked it out for me. So like the large, which I made, was a high bust of 38 inches, and my high bust is 37 in something, inches, whatever that something is.
37 and almost a half.
Yeah, so which is 95 centimetres. And then full bust on the pattern is 40 inches, and my bust is nearly 39 and a half inches as well. So that's 100 centimetres. And then the hips were 43 inches, and mine were pretty near 43, so it was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased with the fit. I guess you'll put some pictures in. Well, you must put pictures in of my make.
Put some pictures in, yes.
So yeah, I guess you will see pictures anyway. So I'm quite happy with the fit, actually.
I think it looks great. Sarah, as always, has done a great job. Yeah, so I'm really happy that she did make that blouse after lusting after the Alton for so long and then being put off because I said I had a terrible time with the bias binding because I used a fabric that just wasn't hugely friendly for making into bias binding. And so me complaining about that put Sarah off for years.
I must say as well, I am going to make another one of these. I really do like this, actually. But I'm going to make it more true to your lumberjack top.
The fabric.
That was the whole look of it as well that I really liked with your Alton blouse, wasn't it? Yeah. I've got a bit of a sheen going on, I think. Makeup!
And I made the Megan Neilsen Jarrah sweatshirt. And I have seen this sweatshirt. People have been talking about it on YouTube for years, ever since it came out. I don't know when it came out, but ever since I started watching YouTube, it seems people have been talking about the Jarrah, saying how much they love it. And I'd looked at it and thought, it's just another sweatshirt. What's the big deal? So, you know, I had never tried it, but Sarah was insistent. And so I got the pattern and I made the Jarrah. And sure enough, actually, I love it. And I don't know why I love it so much. Can't say. But it is very comfortable. I was a bit concerned about the drop shoulder, how it might sit on me, but I'm really happy with it. I love it. In fact, I love it so much that I made two. This is the first one that I made in a really thick stretch. I don't know what the composition is. I think it does have some man-made fibre in it, but it's, you know, not all man-made fibre. And I got this from Spotlight a number of years ago, and this rib is Merchant & Mills rib that I had in my stash. I had enough to do the bottom bands and just enough to do the cuffs, but not enough for the top band. And I don't know how that would have sat anyway, because it's quite a bit thicker, fatter than this band. So I just made a self fabric band, and I top stitched it down. And this one I made a size 16, and I graded it out to an 18 at the hip. And so I think it fits great. I'm happy with the fit. The sleeves are a little bit long on this version here.
I quite like that though. Both mine are long like that.
Yeah.
And I quite like that look.
Right, yeah, it's just a little bit annoying. Sleeves are a little bit long. So the next one I made, which is this, which is a much lighter weight jersey knit, I made a 16 all the way through, and I really like the way this fits too. I don't necessarily need to go up to the next size, I don't think. I did make it quite a bit longer though, both versions quite a bit longer. Let me see if I can show us how much longer I made them. Did I tell you I shortened the sleeve on this one? Just a tiny smidge, and I'm much happier with the length of the sleeve on this one. How much did I lengthen it? There we go, I lengthened it that much. What is that? That's probably 8-10 centimetres, do you think? Something like that.
Rough enough.
That's how much I lengthened the top. And I shortened the sleeve by...
quite a bit.
Is that 5 centimetres? Probably 10 centimetres altogether. I do seem to have quite short, because I've done it in 2 places. I do seem to have quite short arms, so yeah. But anyway, I think this length is now perfect.
No, well, I love them. It's just such a comfortable pattern, isn't it, to wear? And I like the neckband as well, because often I find neckbands, like crew neckbands, can be a bit thin, and I like a slightly thicker one like that. I just think they sit a bit nicer. Yeah,
I absolutely 100% agree. Often they are about half the width that I would like them to be, but this is a good width. So all around good sweatshirt. So I think that was a very positive little exercise.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think it was good for both of us to do something that we had thought, no, we're not going to make that pattern. We're not going to do that. But actually we did it and we both enjoyed it. So obviously we're in a different location this week too. This is in Sarah's house, in her dining room, overlooking that lovely view out there that some of you commented on when we posted pictures of Sarah standing on the balcony. So you can't see it, but there's an amazing view looking out all over Christchurch there. So the next thing we will chat about is that ready-to-wear dress, and I know I've got a photo, so I will pop it up here. A ready-to-wear dress that Sarah found and we both fell in love with, and we really love the cocoon shape of it. We love the slouchy-looking pocket. I like the wider sleeve with the roll-up cuff. We believe it's in a knit fabric, and so we would like to recreate that dress if we can. And we've looked and looked and looked for patterns, and there's nothing, exactly like that. Of all the patterns that there are in the world, sewing patterns, there is not one that looks just like that.
It's because you particularly like the pockets, don't you?
Yeah, it's the whole slouchy pocket situation I really like, and that's the thing that I haven't been able to replicate in any patterns that I've seen. So I might just have to, I don't know, forget about the slouchy pocket, or maybe I can come up with some way of putting a patch pocket on top that's slouchy, maybe. So I think that's the bit that's hard to sort of replicate. So there's lots of ones that we both come back to again and again. The lounge dress by Emporium, the Tacara dress by Seamwork. We would just need to make that sleeve wider because it's quite a firm fitting sleeve.
Yes, yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's longer, but yeah, as you say, firm fitting, I suppose, to counter the bagginess.
Yeah, well, you want it longer so you can roll it up. That's one thing I like about this ready-to-wear dress, is that the sleeve is a bit longer and it's rolled up. But we can easily make that hole wider, longer here, sorry, and widen the sleeve. So, we could do that, or we could use the lounge dress by Emporium. What else have we come up with?
I saw Sew DIY.
Yes.
I've got it here on my phone to remind me, actually.
Yep.
It's called the Loo Box Dress 1, and it can be made in a woven and a knit.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. And she has got a version with short, she's made a woven with short sort of cuff sleeves, but it's got the sort of that high...
What's going on with my hair? Sorry.
I think it looks good.
Carry on.
It's got that sort of high-low, is that what you call that sort of hemline? Yeah, high-low. And it is a sort of cocoon type.
But
not quite the bagginess, but we could make it.
I might look to slash the pattern and widen it below the bust area. Keep the fit around the bust because I quite like that, the shoulders and the bust, and slash the pattern pieces wider to give extra fabric.
Yes, but when you look at it in the woven, it does look quite good.
It looks good in the woven. Yeah. I would probably like to make both the woven and a knit version.
I was thinking that too, actually. I really like it. So, yeah, I'll be interested to, hear comments on that one. But, yeah, so I feel the Tacara and that Loo Box Dress one, I feel like they're probably
more than the lounge dress.
Well, but I've seen some really good versions of the lounge dress too. So it's probably between those three, I think.
We could make all three and decide which is the best.
All I know is I want to make a dress like that one that I found.
Fair enough. We want what we want.
We do.
And we can do what we want. At the moment, I'm working on, do you remember that bubble pink, what did they call it, micro seersucker fabric I got from Paper Scissors Cloth? It was a sort of a mistake fabric that they were sent in error by their supplier, and rather than waste, carbon footprint sending it back and whatever, they kept it and just sold it off at a cheap price. So that fabric I am at the moment making into the Smith woven jacket by Style Arc. And that's an interesting process, and I'll talk to you all about that in another video, but that is what I'm working on at the moment, and I'm quite a long way through that. Sarah, I know you made the peachy shorts by Pattern Emporium.
Yeah.
And you haven't sent me any pictures of those shorts yet, so I wonder what's going on there.
I don't think I will be giving any pictures on those. Okay. I mean, it's a great pattern, but the fabric I used was just, oh my gosh. I used the, it's a cotton pointelle, which, you know, you use it for baby wear and things like that. But
it's very, very lightweight. You made one of your Jarrahs in a heavier pointelle.
Yes, yeah.
And it was great, but this is really super duper lightweight, isn't it?
It is, and I thought, oh, it'll be great for, you know, pajama bottoms, you know, shorty pajama bottoms. But oh my goodness, it has just, they're enormous. They've just grown like this.
So there's no recovery is what we're saying.
Not really, no. And, you know, I washed them and shrink them in the dryer, and they're quite good to wear for a night or so. And then, you know, they're just too enormous again. So, you know, that's fine. But it's a great pattern. I would like to make another pair out of some fabric that's a bit more suitable.
How much fabric does it take? Is it half a metre?
I can't quite remember. It might be, because it's got a yoga band, so that's quite wide. 0.8 of a metre. Does that sound a lot? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you made a giant size. Maybe that's what the trouble is. Maybe you made a size 5 times too big for you.
Yeah. But the other thing I want to make is some sort of cardigan as well. I've got, I want to get like a sort of beige, nice knit fabric to make a cardigan, but I'm not making anything at the moment. I know. I know. My wardrobe is fast getting like yours, I think. I've been sewing a lot. You know, the last year I have been making a lot of stuff. And yeah, I've got the most clothes now that I've ever had.
Yeah, but still not exactly what you want when you want to wear it.
No, I know. It's funny. In the morning, you know, when I get dressed, I look in the wardrobe and I think, oh, what am I going to wear?
Well, a beige cardigan, you've been talking about that for a long time, and beige, that makes it sound kind of boring, but it would be a sort of a latte coloured, or, you know, let's call it something more interesting, a chai latte coloured. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, and it goes, I love it with black. It just, that sort of colour goes with everything, just that natural nude colour, you know. But anyway, I guess that's about all we have for you today. I hope that was a little bit interesting to you. It was interesting to us to make those patterns up that we had been putting off for so long. And the Jarrah, I mean, I'll be making more Jarrah. It might be my go-to sweatshirt pattern from now on, I'm not sure. I do need to make a more cropped version. Well, I don't need to, but I would like to make a more cropped version as well. And I think this actually, I've got a really nice black sort of a, what do you call it, boucle? No, not boucle. What do you call it? Boiled wool. And I think this could look really fancy in a nice boiled wool, you know, in a fancier fabric. I think this could look quite, you know, like a sort of upgraded basic kind of thing, a bit fancy.
You've just reminded me, I've got a beautiful, it's not boiled wool, but I got it from My Designs in Australia. I think I've shown you. It feels like a polar fleece, but it's not. It's a brushed cotton.
Why don't you go get it?
It's got okay, I will.
Okay, so this is, yes, I remember you buying this. It is a very thick, snuggly, what was the makeup of it?
It's all natural. I'm sure it's cotton.
It's a little bit more brushed on one side, but yeah, that would look great. Oh, that would be so good as an oversized. I would go oversized with that, you know, baggy, cropped. That would look so nice. But you've got a lot of it, so you could actually make, I don't know if it's good for trousers. It's quite thick.
I don't know. I think I got about 2 meters, but it would just, it would
be so good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I would really like that for that.
Well, you can't have it.
I would really like you to make that in the Jarrah. Okay, well, that is it for us today. So, yeah, I hope you've all had an amazing Christmas and New Year holiday period. Some of us have been back to work already, and others of us will probably have You know, in New Zealand, we often have 3 weeks off over the Christmas period, and often people don't go back to work until, you know, that sort of, the second week in January. Unfortunately, I'm not lucky enough to be one of those people. Anyway, whatever you've been doing, wherever you have been, I hope you have had an amazing Christmas and a lovely New Year, and that you are well and happy, and I hope you're doing loads and loads of sewing. And it's goodbye from you.
And it's goodbye from me.
See ya.